us and providing such great insight. We'll move away now from the Middle East to Europe, as Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says any contacts between leaders must be prepared thoroughly. He adds that Russia does not reject any format to discuss the Ukraine peace process. Lavrov's comments came as diplomacy intensified following US President Donald Trump's meetings in Washington. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Kyiv is already working on concrete security guarantees. He confirms coordination with world leaders will continue today. The statements reflect the fragile balance between Moscow's demands for careful preparation and Kyiv's push for firm guarantees, as both sides face mounting international pressure to move closer towards a sustainable peace agreement. Well, joining us to discuss these points is Andrew Latham, Professor of International Relations, who joins us live from Minnesota. Andrew, as always, a pleasure to be speaking with you. There's quite a lot to dissect there, but I want to look firstly at the broader picture here. So many nations now directly involved in talks to end this conflict. Do you think this really is the final push that the Russia-Ukraine war needs, and both leaders of Russia and Ukraine need to get a deal over the line with compromise?
Yeah, well, it depends ultimately on what one means by bringing this conflict to a close. Are these negotiations likely to resolve the, in my judgment, irreconcilable differences between Ukraine and Russia? No, they're not. Are they likely to result in some sort of modus vivendi, some way to coexist, a ceasefire, as it were? I think so. I think that's the way this is moving. I think that's the U.S. administration's preferred outcome. From what I'm hearing from my sources, they're preparing for what is effectively freezing the battlefield, the front lines, with some minor adjustments, not admitting Ukraine to NATO. That's not going to happen. But then there's this discussion of a post-conflict security architecture, which involves some kind of security guarantees for Ukraine. Sometimes people make reference to 1938 as the most apt historical analogy. The Russians, once they've captured this version of the Sudetenland, they'll continue their march on the rest of Europe. I think that's a false and misleading analogy. I like 1953 better. There was a temporary ceasefire agreed between North Korea and South Korea at the end of that, the fighting part of that conflict. And that has persisted now for 70 years, that temporary ceasefire. Is it perfect? No. Is it better than all-out war for 70 years? Yes, much better. Now, the fly in the ointment there is there were security guarantees in that conflict as well. There are still 27,000 U.S. troops deployed to South Korea as a kind of backstop, to use the language which is being used in connection with Ukraine. So if we are thinking of the end point for now, and maybe for the long term, as a ceasefire, yes, we're making definite progress.
Absolutely. And Andrew, if you can stay with us, we're going to continue on this topic, but with the related developments. And that comes as Finland's leader has called the